Welcome to Combat Painters Winter Tabletop Baseball Channel, and we are replaying Jake deGrom's 2018 season. We are start number 18 versus Tampa. In this game versus Tampa, he goes 8 innings and gets a no decision. Familia comes in later and ends up getting the win. So once again, he gives up only 1 run in this game, but he walks away with a no decision. Now he's 10-2 in our replay. He was 5-4 in reality at this point. Start number 18. This is halfway through the season. I expect to finish this by next week. Again, I'm broadcasting a little bit more than I usually do, simply because nobody else is broadcasting, and just in case there's anybody out there that likes to, watch these and just relax or listen to these in the car like I do many times. I'm doing this for you guys. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to try to move it along. We're at Citi Field here in Flushing, Queens, New York, right across from LaGuardia Airport. And it's going to be Kevin Kiermaier versus Jake deGrom. That's a 9. That's going to be a patient 90 versus a righty who's going to take us into the out range, which is a ground ball, second base. And that's Cabrera over to first. 1 away. We will be using the fast action cards. The fast action card deck, you can see it here to your right, for certain, for base advancement and for sacrifice bunts and sometimes for stealing and for the errors. That way it avoids me having to pick up charts. 6 is tough, a 61, a tough 61 is going to take us into the out range, and that's going to be a ground ball. Comebacker to deGrom up with it, over to first, out number 2. That's an 8, that's a tough off deGrom's card, tough pitch 65, tough pitch 65, oh, just missed being a single. Ramos, actually should be Bauer. Oh, I see what I said. It is Bauer, Jake Bauer's lefty hitting first baseman. And it's a 65. A 65 is going to be a ground ball hit at Rosario. Rosario guns it to first. Flores playing first base for out number 3. We're using payoff pitch baseball. A lot of fun. These cards in particular, are a little bit inferior, simply because I'm the one who printed them up. And I obviously didn't, I'm not a printer, so I did not get the best quality cards. Now, if you look at these cards, totally different quality, and those are the cards that come from the company. Payoff Pitch Sideline Strategy. I would recommend picking this set up or multiple sets. I mean, it's a great system. Now, for the Rays, it's going to be Ryan Stanek. Stanek, 29 starts, 59 games, so he was both a starter and a reliever, and he had a 2.98 ERA, so he did pretty well for himself. And it's going to be Brandon Nimmo. And that's a 6 off Stanek. That's a tough 41. A tough 41 is a strikeout, so Nimmo goes down on strikes. Next is Batista, and that's a 9, a patient 9. It's a 62, a patient 62. We got base on balls. So Batista on at first with a walk. This is going to be Cabrera. And that's going to be a 6 off Stanek. That's tough, a 30. And that's going to be a wild pitch. Over to second goes Batista. Cabrera's still up with Batista on at second. 12, that's a wheelhouse, an 81, a wheelhouse 81 is going to be a long single into the gap to center field. Runner on first advances, runner on second, which Batista is on second, he scores. That's how you use the fast action cards. So it's an RBI single by Cabrera, probably the Mets' best hitter in 2018. Eventually, he was moved to the Phillies towards the end of the season. The Phillies picked up a lot of different players thinking they had an opportunity, a run there, a chance to make it to the playoffs, but to no avail. I'm sipping some Mexican coffee here on the side. It's coffee with a little Kahlua, a little bit of añejo tequila, and some whipped cream. Sipping that. It's a cold day here in San Antonio in the 40s. Don't laugh now. All right, so it's Michael Conforto. Cabrera's on at first. And it's a 7. And a 7 off Stanek is going to be tough. What is that? A tough 11. A tough 11 is a strikeout. So Conforto down on strikes. And next is going to be Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores is a very popular Met for 10 years. They signed him out of Venezuela when he was 16 years old. And he has played with the Mets ever since. And just recently he was released, or they refused to renew his contract. And that's a 6. Oh, Stanek, that's a tough pitch. A 16, a tough 16 is a strikeout. So down on strikes goes Wilmer, and the Mets lead one, but they score one on one hit. And after an inning of play, you got the Mets 1 and the Rays 0. Okay, it's going to be Wilson Ramos leading it off against Jason deGrom. Here goes. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit so I have a little more space to roll. I keep rolling on my cards. 4 is tough. A 94 tough takes us into the out range, and that's a fly ball left field. Went away. An 11, that's a ballpark off the ground card. A 48, a lefty, that's just misses wheelhouse and goes into the in play. We're going to use a card 06 for in play, and that's going to be a double. A double for Joey Wendell. So Wendell is at second base. Daniel Robertson, second baseman. That's an 8. That's a tough pitch. 66. A tough 66. Oh, just missed being a hit there. And that's a ground ball to second base. That's going to move Wendell to third. So productive out by Daniel Robertson. So now with 2 outs, you have Wendell 90 feet away. Tying run, Malek Smith. And that's a 6. That's a tough pitch. 49. A tough 49. Oh, just misses the hit again. That would have driven in a run. And we got a 49, and that's going to be a pop-up to the right side. Second baseman calls for it. And the Mets are up. They bring up Todd Frazier. Ryan Stanek, right-hander, 26 years old. Going to be pitching to Todd Frazier. There we go. And that's a 6 tough. A tough 79. Tough 79 takes it to the out range, and that's going to be a fly ball. Looks at the center. It's Kiermaier. One away. Devin Mesoraco. And that's a 6. That's a tough pitch. 68, a tough 68. It's a ground ball at second base. Daniel Robertson up with it over to Jack Bowers at first. 2 away. Pitch from Stanek, 5. That's a patient. That's a Rosario being patient. An 0-6. A patient 0-6 is a base on balls. So Rosario on at first. And it's Jake deGrom. Jake deGrom with his pitcher's hitting card number 5. 7, tough, 43, and that's a strikeout for out number 3. Okay, so it's going to be Willie Adames, the shortstop for the Rays. At one time called the Devil Rays. They removed the devil. I guess it was too satanic for the marketing aspect of the game. Okay, so here's a pitch from deGrom to Adames. That's a 7. That's in play. In play 15 is a line drive base hit for Adames. So he's on at first with a single. Kevin, it's Stanek now. Stanek is a 3 hitter. So we're going to pull out the 3 pitcher hitting card. So it is. We're going to bunt with him. He is a C bunter. We're going to use the card. A C is a sacrifice hit. Successful sacrifice. And that's going to go 1, 2, 4. Second baseman covering first. Moving to second is Adames. Now we're going to have Kevin Kiermaier. And that's a 12. That's a tough pitch. A 26, a 12, a tough 26 in a strikeout. Now Duffy. And that's a 2. That's a defense. We'll look at who it is. An error at first base. Potential error by the first baseman. Our first baseman is Flores. Flores is not a very good, in this case, he's not a bad first baseman. He's got a 5 error rating. And then we're going to use this number here, the 14, and that's going to be an E3. That's going to be an E3, and use the number on the top, a 6. An error of 6 is going to be a 1-base error, so Adames is going to make it to third. That's an error on Flores at first base. Now Flores had lots of trouble playing third base. He's playing second base and shortstop, and now they're playing first base mostly. So Duffy's on at first. Adames is on at third, and you got Jake Bowers. Bowers is he grabbed it out in his first at bat. So here you have the Rays threatening. And that's an 11. That's a ballpark. 45, a ballpark 45 by a left-hander. That's going to put it into his wheelhouse. We're going to pull the card for wheelhouse. That's a 14. That's a deep drive versus a right-hander. Back goes Nimmo to the track, to the wall. Looks up. It's out of here. 3-run home run by Jake Bowers. Took that fastball that caught a little bit too much of the plate and put it over the center field fence. And this gives the Rays a 3-1 lead. Now, Bowers hit, in 300 at-bats, hit 11 home runs. Most of them, 9, were off of right-handers. He connects here. And deGrom, I know, wishes he had that pitch back. We still have deGrom on the mound. I don't know why I did that. All right. 7. And that's going to be in play. In play 85, take us to the out range. That's a ground ball, shortstop. Rosario up with it, over to Flores. And that's out number 3. But the damage has been done, and the Rays take the lead 3-1. And that's going to be bringing up the top of the order with Nimmo, Batista, and Cabrera. That's going to be a 2. That's a defensive check. And that's going to be a range for the third baseman. The third baseman is Duffy, Matt Duffy, and I'll tell you his range is a B range, not too shabby. We rolled a 53 under a B range. 53 is going to be an out. I'm going to use a number up here. You can see that. Actually, I have space, I think, to bring this in here. That's going to be a 7. We're going to look at the out for the 7, and that's going to be a ground ball out. So Duffy makes the play. 5-3, and Nimmo's out. Batista walked in his first at bat. That's an 8. That's a tough pitch. 29. Tough 29 is a strikeout for out number 2. So Batista walks away shaking his head. And that's a 6. That's tough. 0-6. Tough 0-6 is a strikeout. Grab it down on strikes. So that's 3 up and 3 down for the Mets. In the bottom of the third, we go to the top of the fourth. It's Joey Wendell. And that's a 10. Excuse me. Tough off the ground, 0-2. That's a strikeout. Robertson, an 8. That's a tough 29. 29 is a strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts by deGrom. Here's Smith. That's a 7. That's in play. A 71 in play. And take it to the out range. It's lifted to left. High fly. Conforto takes a couple of steps in. Makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 for deGrom. Go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 3-1 Rays. Conforto, it's a 7. 7 is a tough pitch. 70. And that's going to be a ground ball too short. Adames guns it to first, gets to Bauer, and gets Conforto by a step. Flores, 9. That's patient. A 94. A patient 94 is going to take us into the out range, and that's going to be a fly lifted to deep right field. Wendell running back and makes the running catch. So just Flores just missed that one. Frazier, it's a 5. Patient 0-3. Patient 0-3 is a walk. So Frazier manages a walk. And that's an 8. That's a tough pitch by Stanek. 81. A tough 81. It's going to be a fly ball. Center field. Kiermaier pounds the glove, makes the catch, and we go to top of the 5th. The top of the 5th, you got Adames, the pitcher spot, Stanek, and then Kiermaier. From deGrom is a 2. It's defense. It's a defensive check. We're going to check the range for the center fielder. Our center fielder is Nimmo. Center fielder range is a D. And we're going to use the 81. A D81. Going to be an out. It's a fly ball out to center field. Nimmo covered more ground than I thought he was capable of. Okay, let's get, all right, so 2, another defensive check. Let's see what that's all about. Error at third base. Third baseman is Todd Frazier. Todd Frazier is a 5. An E5, we're going to use the 79, and an E5 is going to be an out. Out. We use the 5. And that is a ground ball to Frazier. To his left, guns it to first. 2 outs. Kiermaier. Kiermaier's 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out 6. That's a tough pitch, 0-2, and that's a strikeout. So it's going to be Stanek is still in there now. Stanek gets fatigued in the fifth. In the fifth, gets fatigued. Fatigued. Actually, Stanek gets fatigued in the first. So we're going to pull him right away. I did not notice that. So I guess he's one of these guys that starts the game and then expects somebody else to come in and finish it for him. But Stanek did start 29 times, but he goes only 1 inning. So here he's gone 4 innings. That's the most he'll ever go in his life, I guess. And let's see what happened in the actual game. I pull up the actual games and I kind of go by who played in those actual games. I use Baseball Reference. And in this game, on July 6th, okay, the Rays, in this game, let's look at the pitching. Stanek went 2 innings, and then they brought in Yarbrough. Yarbrough went another 2 innings. All right, I don't know if I want to play exactly that way because that's a little bit of a drag. Having to make so many pitching changes, it really slows down the game tremendously. So I kind of opt to play a little bit more of an old school flavor game where I make a lot of, I make plenty of pitching changes, just not maybe as many as they actually would. So I'm going to bring in Ryan Yarbrough. There he is, Yarbrough. I'll write him in here to iScore. Have it on an iPad, 10-inch iPad. And Yarbrough, I have him there, so he's going to be offensive sub as well. Boom, done. So Yarbrough's in there. And it's going to be Ahmed Rosario leading it off, the shortstop. Young 22-year-old shortstop, the right-hander. It's a 6. That's a tough pitch. A 23. Tough 23 is a swing and a miss. Oh, it's a lefty. That makes it exciting because I got to look at the left column, and that's going to be a 50 is a strikeout, up to 1 to 50. So that's a strikeout. So I got a lefty in there. That's exciting. Makes me alert, right? So let's not do that. Let's not do this. There we go. Hold it there. Here's deGrom. And that's a 7. Tough pitch. 74. A tough 74 is a strikeout. And then it's Nimmo. Nimmo is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out. He's facing a lefty now. 5. That's patient. 70. And that's going to be a hit by pitch. So deGrom always finds a way to get on base. He was a league leader in on base percentage with a 404, I believe. Yarbrough to Batista. And that's a 12. That's wheelhouse. An 87. Wheelhouse 87 on the left side. Is going to be a ground ball hit right at the shortstop. Adames, he flips to Robertson for the force. 6-4. We'll go to the top of the 6th. And the Rays are up 3-1. deGrom is still in there. Going to face Duffy, Bowers, and Ramos. Keep on getting higher and higher up. I have a tendency to do that, so I have to keep on checking the camera. All right, that's a 7. An in play, a 60, an in play 60. It's going to be an out. It's going to be a ground ball back to deGrom. A few steps towards first and flips it underhand. Bowers, that's a 9. Patient, and it's a 78. Patient 78 is going to be a base on ball. So Bowers manages a walk. That's Wilson Ramos. Here's a bet now. 7, that's in play. It's a 72. And in play 72 takes us to a ground ball. Is it going to be a double play? That's a 7. This is a 9. And on the batter, it's a 7. So it's going to be a 72, a 4-6-3 double play. And that ends the inning. 4-6-3 double play. Mets are bringing up Cabrera, Conforto, and Flores here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Yarborough's in there, the lefty. Here's the pitch. And that's an 8. That's a ballpark. 63. A ballpark 63. He's batting righty. And that's going to take us into the in-play range. We're going to pull the card for that. 34. 34 is going to be, in-play 34, going to be a base hit for Cabrera. So Cabrera's on at first. Nobody out. Conforto. That's a 3. That's a tough pitch. A 28, a tough 28. That's on the left side. That's a 69. I'll make sure I look on the left-handed pitcher side. So that's a 3, a tough, and a 28. A tough 28 is a strikeout. Crowd is getting loud here at Citi Field. They're getting impatient with the Mets, who here in the bottom of the sixth inning are down 3-1. Mets don't seem to score many runs for deGrom. 4 is in play, and that's a 73. An in-play 73 versus a lefty. It's going to take us to the out range. So potential double play ball. We rolled a 4, and I'm pretty sure it is going to be a double play ball, and it is. So it's going to be a 73, takes us to round ball 463, and the Rays are out of the inning with a double play. So deGrom pitching here in the top of the 7th. He'll be facing Wendell, Robertson, and Malix. Wendell doubled and struck out. And that's an 8. That's a tough pitch. A 50, a tough 50 is a base hit for Wendell. So Wendell giving deGrom trouble. Got a double and a single. And Robertson now. And that's going to be an 8. An 8 is going to be a tough pitch, 12. A tough 12 is a strikeout. Malix Smith. Malix is flat out twice. He's 0 for 2. Tough pitch, 63. A tough 63 is going to take us into the out range. It's a ground ball. An 8, he's a 7, so that's going to be a fielder's choice, a 5-4 fielder's choice. No throw to first. Willie Adames is 1 for 2. That's an 8. Again, another tough pitch, 37 tough. That's a strikeout. So let me see if this is Yarborough's. I have a feeling this is Yarborough's. Is this the 7th? Yes, the bottom of the 7th. So I believe yes, this is. We're going to pull Yarborough. It's going to be Frazier for the Mets, Miserato, and Rosario. We're going to check and see who else pitched in this game for the Rays. Oh, I don't want that. This is very long, just got to bring it up. I have another 8-inch iPad on my left to look up the data. Now they're a little bit older generation, so they don't work all that fast, but it still does the job. Just have to be a little patient with them. So we're looking here at the pitchers for the Rays, and the next one's going to be Kolarek. His name is Adam Kolarek. And another lefty comes in. We're going to remove Ryan Yarbrough, did a good job. Kolarek is a lefty, a 29-year-old lefty. He's going to be facing Todd Frazier. Here's the pitch. So 5, that's in play. 26. And in play 26 is a single. Gotta look at the left side. You see that? I almost screwed up. 26. And that's going to be an out. That's going to be a pop-up to the right side. Second baseman and Bowers kind of look at each other, and Robertson makes the catch. And it's going to be Mesoraco, 4. That's patient in 95. A patient 95. A fly ball left field. And Ahmed Rosario with a pitch from Colorado. 7. That's in play. 74 in play. 74. Going to take us to a ground ball to Robertson. He flips to Bowers. And that's all she wrote for the bottom of the 7th. Mets offense is just totally vanished. So we're going to bring in Castillo is going to be our next pitcher. And he'll be a righty, so that's going to be it for Colorado. And we're going to get to see a pinch hitter right now. That's the thing with these modern games, a lot of action. You see Carlos Gomez, he's always fun to watch. Let's remove that. So it's a 3-1 Rays lead here in the top of the 8th. Tampa is batting. They're bringing up Carlos Gomez to pinch hit. deGrom is still in there now. In actuality, he went 8 innings in this game. Now he's given up 3 runs, so I'm going to have to pull deGrom simply because he becomes a fatigued pitcher. Unless I use a fatigue, because he's given up 3 runs. So he's a fatigued pitcher who, the way you do this is you look 0 to 5.9. That's for strikeouts. Or requires 4 or more, so that wouldn't apply to 4 or more. Or the pitchers who are 0 to 399. Okay, with strikeouts per. He has 11 with 6 or more. Okay, so this is going to be his fatigue pitcher card. We're going to let him go 1 more inning. Let me see. Frazier, he's due up. Try to get him to go through this because he's due up next inning. So we're going to try to allow him to go 1 more inning since in reality he pitched 8 innings. Okay, so Gomez is going to be the batter. We got to pop him in there. And he's in there. Okay, so that's an 11. That's a defensive check. It's an error third base. Frazier is the third baseman. He's a 5 error. We're going to look at the 63, a 563. Now it takes us into the out range. And what kind of out it is? It's a 6. A 6 at third base is a ground ball. So Frazier handles it over to first, 5-3. All right, so Kiermaier is 0 for 3 on the day. And that's a 3. Patient, a 51. A patient 51 is going to be a single. So Kiermaier on with a single. Duffy, 8. That's patient. And it's a 0-7. Patient 0-7. That's going to be a walk. And that's going to force us to pull deGrom at this point. I'm going to have to pull deGrom for a reliever who we have warming up in the bullpen. It's going to be Corey Oswalt. Corey Oswalt's going to get an opportunity here. Oswalt, 24-year-old right-hander. He's on first and second. Okay. Against Bowers, hit a home run. He's walked. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Here's a pitch. It's a 5. That's tough. 67. A tough 67 Tough 67 is a ground ball to the shortstop. And flips to second, Cabrera with the relay, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. Oswalt with one pitch gets the Mets out of trouble. And we go to the bottom of the eighth inning. Bottom of the eighth inning. I'm going to have Castillo, Diego Castillo. Diego Castillo is a 24-year-old right-hander, 4-2 with a 3.18 ERA. He will be facing the pitcher spot. So we're going to see a pinch hitter for the Mets here. In this game, the Mets saw Dominic Smith pinch hit. So we're going to do the same thing. We're bringing Dom Smith. There's Dom Smith. Pitcher hitting card is out. I usually, when I start moving about and pinch hitting from my ninth place pitcher, my eighth place pitcher, I usually just remove the pitcher hitting card because I doubt anybody's going to still use that same card. Okay, so I have Dominic Smith pinch hitting, facing Diego Castillo, the new pitcher for the Rays. It's a 5. That's a tough pitch. A 38. A tough 38 is a strikeout. So Smith strikes out. Next is Nimmo. Nimmo's 0 for 2, grounded out, and struck out, hit by the pitch. 7, that's a patient. A patient 57. Patient 57 is a walk. Jose Bautista, a 7, that's patient. And that's an 83, a patient 83 is going to be ball 4. So the Mets with one out have runners on first and second now. They're down 3-1 here in the bottom of the eighth inning. As Drupal Cabrera, one of the top Met hitters, and that's an 8. That's a tough pitch, a 38, a tough 38. It's going to be a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Michael Conforto. He's got good power, hit 28 home runs for the Mets. Against Diego Castillo, runners on first and second. Nimmo takes his lead off second. Bautista off first. The pitch from Castillo, and that's going to be in play, a 64. In play 64 is going to be a fly ball to left field. High fly. Wendell gets under it easily. And that's all she wrote for the Mets. Mets have had their opportunities, just have not capitalized. So we go to ninth inning. Corey Oswalt still in there. Going to face Wilson and Ramos. 4, that's a tough pitch. A 67, that's a 97, excuse me. Tough 97 takes us to a fly ball, left field. Ramos, 1 out. And next is going to be Joey Wendell, who's 2 for 3 on the day, a double and a single, 9. That's a tough pitch, a 38. A tough 38 is a strikeout. Oswalt. Let's see. I have a pinch hitter here. Daniel Robertson, the batter. I'm sorry. Daniel Robertson, the batter. And Oswalt, here's the pitch from Oswalt. And that's a 6. Patient 91. A patient 91. Really hit by pitch. So Daniel Robertson is hit by the pitch, and next is going to be Malik Smith. Malik Smith is flied out twice and into a fielder's choice. Speedy left-hander. That's a 7. That's in play 96. And in play 96. It's a fly ball to right field. There's Bautista, makes the catch. So we go to the bottom The bottom of the ninth, the Mets get their last licks, see what they can do. It's a 3-1 ball game here in Flushing, Queens, City Field. Inaugurated in 2009. Wilmer Flores, it's an 11. It's a tough pitch, 13. That's a strikeout. Flores down on strikes. 1 out. Here in the bottom of the ninth, it's a 3-1 Rays lead. Nobody's on. 6, that's an in-play 37. In-play 37. Oh, just misses being a hit. And a 37 is going to be a ground ball right back to Castillo. Castillo takes a few steps towards first and flips it to Bowers. 2 away. So the Mets are 1 out away from losing this ball game and handing deGrom his 3rd loss of the year. 5. That's a tough pitch. 38. A tough 38 is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Game is over. And the Mets lose it by a score of 3-1. And deGrom in the replay now is 10 wins, 3 losses. In reality, he did not get, he's, I believe, 5-4 because he did not get a decision in this game. And the line score is Tampa, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. New York, 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. So a combination of 4 Rays pitchers did a great job in suppressing the Mets offense. Not tantamount to a huge result, because it's not really all that of an accomplishment in considering the Mets did not have a very good offense in 2018. But anyway, that being said, the game is over. Final score, Tampa 3, and the Mets 1. deGrom falls to 10 wins and 3 losses in our replay. One of the few losses he's taken all year, and the Mets just could not muster any offense whatsoever. They had a couple of opportunities that they missed out on, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys.